Well, here we go. V8 Supercars, round 3. Allports Gaming Enduro Cup. Supercars NZ making up round 11 of our summer series. This is Doug and I'm joined upstairs in the wonderful broadcasting lounge with the one and only Shane White. How are we going, Shane?
Yeah, cheers, Doug. Good to be here at Winton Motor Raceway in Victoria. Penultimate round of the Summer Series and final round of the Allports Enduro Cup, and the points are looking pretty interesting in both championships there, Doug.
Certainly are, and I see one of our point leaders hasn't turned up tonight to race with us. They're probably getting in some last minute practice time in the new Gen 3, and that would be Shane van Gisbergen, current point leader of the Allports Endurance Cup.
Yeah, that's right, and I can tell you I've done some number crunching to work out what that means. So we had previously worked out that if he had showed up, he would just need to finish in the top 3 to wrap up the Enduro Cup there.
Yep.
But with him not being here, that pretty much takes him out of the equation. As long as Dion scores 7 points, that'll be enough for Dion to get past him.
Yep.
And as long as he then outscores Cole Taylor by 20 points, which means he needs to finish in the top 7, that will be enough to make sure Dion is the championship winner. So if Cole wins the race, then Dion will need to finish in the top 7 to make sure he wins that Allports Enduro Cup.
Wow, and there we go. And I believe currently, from looking at our normal points tally, Cole's sitting around 4th or 5th in our championship, with Dion sitting around, I believe, 2nd or 3rd currently. So those boys have still got a lot to play for, as well as both Cole and Dion pull off the track at similar points there. So at the moment, Dion taking out 5th spot on the grid, with Cole sitting down there in 12th. So Cole's got a wee bit of moving and grooving to do for us if he's going to get up towards the front on that one. But we have got a 1 hour race ahead of us, and anything can happen here at Winton, where the track is anything but easy, would you say, eh, Shane?
Yeah, definitely a very tricky track, very compact. It was once described by Dick Johnson as being like running a marathon around your clothesline, and yeah, you can definitely see where he got that from. A lot of close together, tight corners. Those hairpins up the top are a very slow sequence where you just want the car to turn, and then you have got faster corners where you want to limit that turn as well. So a lot of mix of what you want in the car to do here, which makes it very challenging to get the car set up right and very challenging to drive it.
I'm just looking at that track map, and it certainly doesn't look like any clothesline I've ever seen before. Maybe an upside down clothes horse if you're lucky.
Well, we are in Australia, Doug. Give them some credit.
That's it. So the qualifying has wrapped up, and Darren Lobb has managed to out-qualify Bruce Tannock there, first place. Bruce there in 2nd, and Connor Nixon is the racecraft entry, managed to grab up 3rd. There's that ever-looming name of Timothy Vaughan sitting there in 4th as well. So this is certainly going to be an interesting race. Dion de Graaf and James Anderson, Kevin West, that's a trifecta of Simblac's entried vehicles sitting there. So that's going to look really cool on stream. Hopefully they can all happily negotiate turns 1, 2 and 3 for us, so we don't end up having a sim splat at any point through those initial corners.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight, very close, hard racing at the start. Hopefully, like you say, we won't see anybody come together, but yeah, it'll be very hard fought, and we'll see if everybody can get through there. We're still waiting on Darren Lobb to take his grid position.
Yes, indeed. Looking like we've got possibly about 30 cars on track tonight. So an hour here at Winton is what's the likelihood that we'll see a MRX safety car?
Yeah, I'd say there's a pretty decent chance of that coming out tonight, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Just a quick note as well, we have a compulsory pit stop required for 4 tyres here tonight. As far as fuel, they can almost do the distance on one tank, they'll just be 1 lap short, so when they do come in to take those tyres, they'll add a splash of fuel in and they'll be all good for that, but critical lap will be basically lap 1 where you could theoretically get in and fuel to the end, and somebody's just burning up a bit of excess fuel on the grid as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Darren or Bruce showing a little bit of inability to be patient, but the lights have finally come up now and they're about ready to go.
Green flag, green flag.
Well, the lights go out and it's Bruce that gets the jump away from from the front row and takes the lead down into towards turn 1. Darren's going to follow him in. A good gap back to the rest of the pack there, so they got away nicely from the rest of the pack. Everybody tiptoeing their way through the first couple of corners now. I've seen someone going wide out of turn 2, possibly getting into the wall there as well. Oh, a little bit of chaos at the back there, but nothing too major. It looks like we're going to keep the safety car in the pit lane for now.
Yeah, the only information I had was Shane Ewan's crash. Everyone else was sort of just spilling off around each other because of that.
Yeah, so potentially just the reaction to the dramas there at turn 2 causing a little bit more, but Bruce is currently out in front by just over half a second over Darren Lobb. Darren very quick will be looking to put the pressure on soon, and Connor Nixon and James Anderson, a couple of very talented drivers in behind looking to do the chasing as well. It looks to be settling down into a nice rhythm here as they've come through the twisty middle sector. There's a bit of a gap back to those that were affected by that turn 2 drama, but pretty close for the majority of the pack. Stefan Adams just calling out that he's coming in with some damage, so he will be looking to run a very long second stint or potentially make 2 stops in this race.
Yeah, certainly what an interesting start. So it's not over yet, even though we had a wee bit of drama there at turn 2. It's still an hours long race, and it's still can play into our hands with coming in, getting that fuel, getting that stop, and banking on a safety car coming out as well. So it's certainly not over yet. Eyes forward and push on, boys.
Yeah, well, is Scott Pickering making a move on the car in front of him? Oh, and is that Steve Darren going around?
Was, yep. Like a bit of contact from Marty Mitchell, Steve Darren falling down the grid order there.
Well, we're looking at Cole Taylor. We're looking at Cole Taylor earlier, buried down in 12th position at the moment, not where he needs to be in that fight for the All Ports and Euro Cup.
No.
With Dion sitting where he is, even a win wouldn't be enough, but if Dion drops back, he needs to be right near the front of the pack to take advantage of that, so he'll be looking to this work.
Yeah, so Cole's in sort of a bit of a vulnerable position where he is. He's now finally managed to put his eyes forward. I thought he was at a bit of a risk there previously from Eamon Young, who's sitting just behind him, but I believe with now having Blake behind Eamon, it's taken his eyes off being forward, so a wee bit of reprieve for Cole. I saw Kevin West, Simblac's entry, just falling down the grid order there, and now as he just struggles with his car to get it back onto some form of the racing line as he sits in and around and pops around and gets that tail wiggling. He just needs to take a breath and settle back into the rhythm, or else he's going to end up burning up more positions very easily if he carries on like that.
Yeah, certainly important to get into a nice rhythm here at this track, as Scott Pickering's looking to make a move down the inside here on number 45, which is Tony Lynch.
Yep, he's certainly trying there. Yep. And there's Nick Bakey on 3 spots up to 17th. Yeah, got his eye on following Kevin West around. Might Might be able to make up a few positions if he sticks in behind him. Back towards the front, Connor Nixon under pressure from James Anderson, who had been able to show some very quick lap times through the early practice. Just wasn't able to convert that into any higher than P6 to start this race. But yeah, Connor certainly got his hands full at the moment holding off James, and James be wary, he has Tim Vaughan sitting in behind him.
Yes, a good tight battle pack here for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Getting fairly tight at the front between Bruce Haddock and Darren Lobb as well, but at the moment it looks like Darren's just happy to sit in behind and look after his car. Look to hold on to those tyres maybe, but in saying that, heating up in the hot air behind Bruce's car won't be all that good for them for too long, so they might want to look to make a move soon, but if he's comfortable just driving at a pace where he's matching Bruce, he might be happy to just sit here for now and see what he can do later. As Aaron Goodrock has put a call out to race control there, so he must have been caught up with an incident.
Yeah, I can see his name tumbling down the grid order there, and I saw Kevin West's name on that as well, so I'll have a quick look at that in a minute, but we'll just see if Darren looks like he's going to get any closer than he currently is. There's a hot pack of races here, positions 14 through to about 18, 19th there. Everyone left and right all over the place. It's definitely a cluster of cars.
Scott Pickering was putting Tony Lynch under pressure a little while ago. Now he's dropped back and been taking some pressure himself, so potentially just made a mistake as he is closing up on Tony again. I wonder if he just maybe went for a move on Tony and maybe that cost him a little bit and dropped him back, but he's certainly catching back up again now. Bit of chat coming over the mic. I'm not sure if you can hear that over the stream, but we'll leave that for them to talk between each other, and hopefully they'll leave it for a Discord after the race. Oh, as we see Cole Taylor and Roger Forbert, and that's not what Cole needs. That'll drop him back even further. You mentioned he was in a dangerous position, and that's proven to be the case, where he's just been involved in some contact and ran off, flashing the lights at Roger now.
Yeah. Let's have a squiz back at. Oh, we've got Blake Greenwall showing us crashed as well. There's a lot of action just happening here at the moment.
Yeah, so I wonder if he's hit the big curb on the exit of turn 2 and had a moment there because he was going very slowly between 2 and 3.
Right, here's Blake. We'll have a quick look at this. Not too bad, not too bad. Floated out. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh,
well held.
Not even on the curb, just gassed it up, and yeah, you're right, very well held. Losing a lot of time in little spots, but no damage picked up from that, except maybe a bit of damage to the tyres.
Yeah, and we'll have a look here. Roger Forbert off track, so let's have a squiz at that one. This might paint a bit of a picture to that incident involving him and Cole.
Oh, yeah, Cole sending in a late move. I did hear him come across the mic and apologise, so I think the light flashing was a sorry light flashing, not a what were you doing light flashing, so yeah, Cole definitely taking responsibility for that, and nothing coming in from any of the drivers to race control, so I'll race on with that.
From earlier of Kevin West, off track as well, so under pressure here from Nick, actually grabbing a wee bit of bumper there. Oh, and just sliding past Aaron Goodrock. So
car 47 drive through for avoidable contact.
Aaron Goodrock off track. That's a tricky, sticky position to be in there. And there was actually a bit of after effect from car 47, I think, just under the braking. Under the braking point there, and just caused the other car to shoot by. So
Yeah, so
If you're
that's
gonna look at that
that's
corner,
very
look at
interesting
two corners
because
previous to that
I
as
have
well,
just
so-
heard Race Cool announce a drive-through penalty for Craig, so he's
Penalty handed
obviously
out. Okay, thank you.
given a bit of a push there, and that's resulted in those cars going off. So penalty being assessed there.
Car triple A, avoidable contact, drive-through penalty. Thank you.
Oh, that could be a slightly awkward one. So car triple eight has been given a drive-through penalty. That is Nick Bakey.
Yeah. That's
Didn't see what he was involved in.
So I just saw that just before. Avoidable contact. Bakey was off track. No, can't see that one now. But coming in, taking a drive-through and stop at the same time, so
Well,
using a wee bit of strategy there.
This won't count as his penalty because you cannot serve a pit stop during a stop and go, so he will have to come in and take another tour of the lane.
Okay, so hopefully race control conveys that, because I would have been under that impression as well, that that would have been a good time to stop and take that. Here is a very hot battle, as we said there, which I might actually take that back a wee bit, because that was quite a cool bit of toing and froing that those two just did. Cole Taylor, Roger Forbett, here they are.
Sorry, Roger.
Oh, that's a nice move down the inside there.
Yeah, Roger in a good position to defend the inside line.
Oh, I've just seen race leaders have come together. Race leaders have come together. Darren Lobb and Bruce Tannick have crashed on the straight between turns 2 and 3.
And here it is here.
Bruce
losing
getting
his tail.
Oh, that's just really unfortunate.
Not holding the brake, that's a bit, it's not very good. Not very good either.
Yeah, I caught the spinning around out of the corner of my eye on my screen while we were watching that replay, so I wasn't exactly sure what had happened, but it was just Bruce losing control, trying to gather it up. Darren decided to try and go to the left of him and just got collected as Bruce got the big tank slapper on, so just an unfortunate thing there, I think.
Certainly was. Yeah, it did seem to be a bit of a hard one. Car was not obviously pointed forward very well, and when someone's slapping around like that, it's very hard to try and pick the right moment of to which side to stick it in. Sometimes falling in behind is the best option, as we've just seen Bakey rolling back through pit lane there now. Is now serving that drive-through penalty, I'm assuming.
He's stopping in the box again. No, he's not.
There we go. So there's Bruce coming in for his pit stop. Craig Mason serving his at the same time. So out front. Oh!
Alright, mate, I'll let you go.
Saw Dion and James moving around a wee bit. James either had a slowdown or just suffering a wee bit of damage there and just regathering his thoughts. And believe it or not, I've just seen here in the chat the one and only Lasith Lineage there joined us, Phoenix Racing Team. Probably a good opportunity for you to jump on in here, Shane, and tell us about our Race Week sponsor.
Car 301,
Yeah, so
Passion
Passion Sim Racing and Phoenix Racing Team have teamed up to sponsor this week to give a little bit of a tease to a little project that they're working on. So, look, obviously we've just announced our Pathways program for Sundays, and I guess what PSR and Phoenix Racing Team are working on is almost an extension of that, but it is independent from Supercars NZ. But if you've been racing in the sim for a wee while and you want to figure out how you can improve and take that next step in your racing, keep an eye out for what those guys are going to announce shortly, because they should be able to help you out. And if you're really keen to get reaching out and make those steps, get in touch with Dane from PSR, and he will look to give you more information as to what he can and help get you on the right path there.
Yeah, no, well said, mate. That was perfect. Yeah, so Supercars NZ has announced pathways, which will be more of a early entrant level support system to the drivers coming in from a little bit of basic understanding of iRacing and getting to understand how to get things set up and best running for you to have the best fun experience that you possibly can. And Passion Sim Racing along with Phoenix Racing team coming together, coming up with a plan with Laseth doing some school driving, which he has helped out in the past with us through Supercars NZ. It was run on a Sunday with great success. A lot of drivers said that they had a fun time learning a little bit more, and if anyone needs any proof of the pudding of how well that team goes, you only have to know and understand the name of young Rehan, his son, all of 12 years old, back-to-back champion Supercars NZ. He won 3 seasons in a row. I think it was 3 seasons in a row.
I believe it was, yes, and now having moved on to bigger and better things, doing very well so far this season in Scops, won the first race. And I think he had a good result in the second race as well, or is that coming up?
I thought he had a second run and a good race result again as well.
Yeah.
Could be mistaken. But whichever way it is, whenever that young fella gets out there in the V8 Supercars, he's a class act to watch, and along with his dad alongside him and giving him some helpful hints, he's certainly a force to be reckoned with. About one of the only true drivers that we've seen come to Supercars NZ that has been able to put some real muscle up beside Shane van Gisbergen when he's come along to race as well.
Yeah, 100%, and that is no mean feat right there. So, very talented young kid, and speaks a lot to the credentials of Laz there. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that project coming up, and you might be able to get yourself some high quality coaching there.
Yeah, exactly. It's we're just having a look at a little bit of turn and frown happening there between Bruce Tannock and Kevin West there. Kev was just getting the tail stepped out a wee bit, and Bruce was just trying to help him along to straighten him up, I think. That's all we can say.
Yeah, so Bruce wanting to get a move on here and not happy with it. Oh, and he's gone for a bit of a lunge and gone around. That was reminiscent of a move I think we saw at that corner in the rail racing last year.
Yep, certainly was. I think I didn't see any issue with that. Personally, seemed to be a racing incident. Bruce had a clear run and was there, but if there's any issues, race control can certainly have a look back at it.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to see another look at it, but I think Bruce did have the overlap from before the braking zone, so I think Kevin had plenty of warning to know he was there and give him a bit of space.
Race control, checking it out.
You wanted to have another look? Okay, here we go.
Well, a bit of touching before the corner, but yeah, I think it's all going to depend on whether Bruce was able to hold a reasonable line there. I think that's what race control are going to be looking at. Was he making the apex? Was he running a little bit wide there? Was he going in too hot? So there's a few things race control will look at to make a decision there. So we will let them look at what they're going to look at and make a call.
Yeah. How about this though? Capitalising off everyone else's drama, Connor Nixon, and he is well and truly moving forward with it now. Nearly 7 seconds ahead of Dan de Graaf there. Dion just doing his thing. James
Connor's
in behind him.
Connor's kept a very level head here. Was involved in the early battles with the Simblats cars behind him early on, but he's managed to put a gap on them, and then taking advantage of the dramas between Bruce and Darren that we saw a few laps ago, and that's given him a pretty comfortable lead here. So look, long way still to go and a pit stop still to make as well, so plenty of opportunity for it to go wrong, but at this stage he's looking in a pretty good place.
Yeah, we'll just see Connor's last lap was a 20.4 versus Dion's 20.9. So James Anderson and Tim Vaughan, only the real ones really sort of close to that, the 5 and a 4 respectively as well. So let's have a look and see what's happening with this battle here. James Anderson now just shaking his leg a little bit. Timothy Vaughan sitting in behind him. Bit of an interesting move, those two just taking the opportunity to swap places again. I'm not too sure whether they've both picked up slowdowns at different points, but both conceding to each other around that same spot on the track. You would probably have a better handle on that if there was a corner cut at all somewhere around there.
I didn't pick up on anything there, but I can certainly look back at the footage to see if there's anything I can see.
Yeah. Kevin West sitting in behind Simon Willis there, and Mark Price with Aaron Goodrick battle there. Oh, Cole Taylor just about squeezes up the inside of Aaron, so Cole wanting to try and move himself back further towards the front without getting held up too much. As we see Kevin West just losing the rear end. That's given Cole an opportunity to run up the inside, but now onto the outside. That's an awesome 4x4 there, but Kevin not hanging on to the end of his car very well. Oh, it's hard. It was very hard racing there. Cole probably the one who has suffered the most from that now, as Aaron Goodrick moves about a second ahead. Mark Price falling off the side under pressure. There was an interesting few sections of corner, and I know you said it earlier about running, what did you say, about kicking field goals at Possums or something about this track. What'd you say?
Running a marathon around your clothesline.
That one too. This is a little bit of an onboard, which I won't get you to talk about, but we'll give people at home just a bit of an understanding. This is probably about the only time that the wheel's not turning at this section of the track.
Yeah, but it looks like Aaron's running a little bit of left hand down there. So possibly picked up some damage.
Yep. Certainly putting a bit of hurt on as he comes through this section here. Be interesting to see how he gets around these right-handers. A little bit more lock, but nothing too bad. Certainly not helping at the through the left-hand corner, just creating a bit of understeer, isn't it?
Yeah, so plenty of lock required to get through there at the best of times, and you can see he's running a few degrees left-hand down when he's in a straight line, so picked up some damage somewhere and nursing it at the moment. It's not too bad by the look of it. I've certainly driven stints with that much in a GT3 car, I should add.
Yep.
Not the best at driving these cars at the best of times, so can't really comment too much on that, I suppose.
Jump on board here with Dion de Graaf. This might be a good lap for you to give us a humbird of if you want to do that, mate.
Yeah, I can certainly do that. As he goes a bit deep there. So coming out onto the pit straight now as you allow me to see the telemetry there by moving the Phoenix sign. So up to 5th gear, coming back down to 3rd gear for turn 1, climbing over the curb at turn 2 on the right, and then don't take too much of the exit curb there because the second part of it will launch your car. Down into 2nd gear for turn 3, using the curb to help get it turn, use plenty of the exit curb there, and then 3rd gear through turn 4, up into 4th gear, into the sweeper, long double apex left-hander here, patient with the throttle, and then on the brakes for the right-hander at turn 7, pin right corner, down to 1st gear for that, 2nd for the left-hander at 8, super patient all the way through here, back to 1st gear, short shift to 2nd on the exit, up to 3rd now, pulling gears down this little short chute, on the brakes, back down to second gear for the left-hander at Northern BM corner, and then out onto Falcon Straight, pulling gears, fourth gear, fifth gear, on the brakes, back down to second for Advanced Petroleum corner at turn 12, and then second gear again for the final corner. Sorry, the final corner is turn 12, the previous corner was turn 11, and pulling gears down the straight and across the line to complete a lap at Winton.
Yeah, there we go, and that was a 20.9 on that lap. We saw Timothy Vaughan in front of him just making a bit of an error and gassing it up coming through. These guys at the front still haven't taken their pit stop yet, so how many laps are we into this race now, mate?
We are 19 laps in. More importantly, we're just coming up to 25 minutes into a 1 hour and 5 minute race as Timothy Vaughan, I've just seen on my screen, running very wide at the sweeper.
There we go. Just in the back of these mirrors I can see an MRP car of Darren Lobbs filling up now the mirrors of Dion de Graaf's, and I believe Dion might have been in with Lasith's driving session on the weekend as a part of Passion Sim Racing, so possibly in there getting a wee bit of schooling on how to get around the track, as we now see Darren launching on the attack, try and see if he can wrap up something around the outside here.
Yes, so Dion missed the apex a little bit at turn 10 there, so that I think just opened the door for Darren to get alongside, and Darren's been able to keep alongside on the outside through the final two corners. Dion just maybe getting clear, but Darren's going to have a look into turn 1 and looks like he's got the job done, but Dion might be able to get the better run, but opens the door for Timothy Vaughan to come through as well, so Dion losing 2 spots in 2 corners.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. Sorry about that. Clutter on the screen there. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate there for Dion, losing 2 positions there, but Dion will re-engage the old brain, kick it into gear, and wait for him. See, very, very quickly looking at sniffing on the attack. If Timothy was not going to be able to pull that up in time, he's ready to capitalise on any small mistake. Sitting out here at the front though, 8 seconds clear currently of James Anderson and Connor Nixon, so he's doing a mighty fine job in the Racecraft Sim entry there, with an awesome looking livery by was it RSW? That just eluded my mind there for a second. RSW Graphics, if that sounds correct.
Yeah, that sounds correct to me, but I could be wrong as well. I'm sure Connor will correct us when he watches the stream.
I'm sure it's RSW, and they're also the same people behind the one and only Phoenix Racing Team livery as well, which is a very cool livery of young Lasith there. From also had Melbourne Hydrographics on there, and his old man had got in touch with KartFX and managed to get a cool wee 1/18th scale model car done.
Thanks, mate.
Always a cool one to keep in the back of your head for any of you avid sim racers there at home. You can get in touch with those guys across the ditch. They will do up a custom car sporting your livery. There's a free shout out for KartFX.
Yeah, very cool. And
I've just had the guys over at Vermilion Motorsport confirm it is RSW. Thank you very much, guys. That's awesome, and thank you for tuning in with us this evening. And most certainly, go Connor. There he is there. So Connor races under the Vermilion badge on Thursdays in the GT3s, which I think might have been a wee bit of a hiccup with our other presenters on Thursday night. Got a bit confused as to why he wasn't sporting Racecraft colours, but Racecraft for the V8s and Vermilion for the GT3s. Not just a one-trick pony, our Connor Nixon.
No, very cool. Was able to represent 2 teams. He's telling us earlier on about the relationship that exists between the 2 teams that allows him to do that. So, very awesome to see. As Dion de Graaf has been into the pits, or he's in the pits right now.
He is, and just departing it. So this will be interesting where he comes out. Here's Bruce Tannock, so probably about 4-5 second gap between those two, Dion and Bruce. 4.2, by correction. There he is. Who else we got floating
Bruce
down here?
is showing as having taken a stop, but I think I heard a bit of conversation where he might have received a penalty from race control for the earlier incident we saw him involved in, so that could be just, that pit stop could be just him serving a drive-through, and he may still have to make a pit stop as well.
Oh, there's something we're going to have to look back on. Timothy Vaughan's just capitalised off Darren Lobb making a mistake. And so he's now moved himself up into effectively third spot. That would have been a hell of a pass to see. So let's take the opportunity when that data comes through for that to be replayed. Here it is. Here is Timothy Vaughan on Darren Lobb. If my data screen would let me click on it.
Some good-looking white wheels there, boys.
Yeah, look at them.
Hey?
I'm blinded, I can't see, they're so bright.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so Darren making a bit of a mistake, and Tim very quickly capitalising on that one, moving on by. And we have a look now. Darren's still in the sniff for that one. Anyway, how we going? Macatap Namara, the Macro Mamara.
Oh, just, mate, the Serbs are coming from everywhere. And it's good, man. Like, there's been heaps of action, a few drive-throughs. I don't know, have you guys called all the drive-throughs that's happened? Because there's quite a few.
We've only caught a few. We've heard a few bits and pieces, but we've just, I know that you guys have been busy, so maybe you can give us a quick rundown on some of the penalties that you've handed out so far.
Like 3 drive-throughs for avoidable contact. Obviously, this track is a little bit weird and it's a little bit hard, and so cars pushing and taking a few out. Even an admin got a drive-through penalty tonight. I think the first admin to ever receive one. So
saw that one. Yep.
So he got one. So it doesn't matter if you're admin or not. You got to abide by the racing rules of race control. The other safety car person in the MRX safety car didn't like me using the MRX penalty as a word across the mic, which was brilliant. So I gave someone a penalty. I said that's from MRX, which was to an MRX driver. So we're waiting to see how that works out after the race. I thought it was hilarious.
That wasn't for this one, was it?
I believe it was. I believe it was. But hey, at the end of the day, the problem we have, and it's nothing to do with slower and faster drivers, is there is a big gap between the pace. Bruce Tannock's well known for, just driving really hard and really fast, which is he's more entitled to, but you do have to give up to the slower drivers until you get a good gap, and that was probably lacking in a few places. But at the end of the day, it is hard when you're in that mindset as well. Like, you try and put yourself in their shoes. As they come to, this is quite an exciting time. The only pit stop happening by the front couple of runners, do I believe, happening. As I keep talking, so sorry to ruin you guys' dream by just talking crap for 5 minutes. But,
I've actually muted you.
No, you better not off. I'll tell Chitty. I'll tell Chitty on you.
The votes have come in.
I'm not telling Chitty,
Look at that gap at the front now, though. Connor and James have both been in, so this is the finalised order at this stage, and Connor's got nearly a 12-second lead over James now.
Yes, so hence the reason I actually came up to the loud show to interrupt you there, Shane, because that is a very good point. Should we throw a safety car?
I think that could make things very interesting, couldn't it?
You're the man with the button. I'd love to see it happen while you're in here.
Should we? I like our little wheel, so we won't do the wheel because we can't. But should we just say, all right? So we'll throw a safety car. I don't know who's put it, who hasn't, which is really good because Sorry,
Why can we
Shane,
not do? Why can we not do the wheel? Like I get we can't show it, but we can still do it, right?
Should we do it? Should we do it?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do the
Oh.
wheel. So you have to do, if you can
Hang
quickly
on.
organise from lap 37 to
Looks
105.
like we've got a stream
My-
issue going on for Doug to sort out first.
Yep, my iRacing has just decided to freeze up.
See, Shane, it's your fault for trying to get something else going on in the stream. Hey, as we try here, and he's got a little bit of glitching going on. Maybe we just. I think the stream's suddenly jumped into its Holden, and not quite its Ford, so a little bit slow at the moment.
I was working on replay, but it's not gathering any more live data, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Catch you later. Well, there you go. You're right.
It's on replay.
It's on replay. But if you try and go live, it's not going to work, is it?
No.
Paused. Alright, I'll leave you two to sort that out. We won't throw a safety car. You try and figure that out, and we'll talk soon.
How bizarre.
Copy
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Doug, I think the only way you're going to fix that is to exit iRacing and load back in.
That's a bit of a shame. So we'll put you on there, and yeah, the people at home will just have to stare at the 54 Sim Racing Ferrari there. Looks like I've still got some data, but I don't think that's accurate, so please bear with us while we get iRacing back up. That was very unusual.
Yeah, technical difficulties, please stand by. So I'm
What's happening
currently
in the race,
looking
right?
at Dion de Graaf, putting a lot of pressure on Darren Lobb at the moment. Don't look at Doug's password, please.
I don't think they can see it unless I put that over on the other side.
No, it was well, what I could see was just all dots anyway, so they wouldn't have been able to see what it was.
Oh, you're looking at my screen. They're not seeing what.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
still looking at a beautiful 54 Sim Racing Ferrari.
Very good.
Rightio. So hopefully that's just gonna load back in for us nicely. So any changes around the podium, top three maybe? Any battles happening there that could upset that?
So Darren Lobb has made his way back onto the podium, and he's sitting just 3 seconds behind James Anderson at the moment. And we have a safety car as well, so
Okay. Well, that might
hopefully
be
by
quite
the
handy.
time,
That.
yeah, hopefully by the time you load in, we should be just about ready to go green again. So I'll keep an eye on who's going to pit. I'm just watching Connor Nixon at the moment as the leader. He'll be the first of the race leaders to come up on pit lane. I am seeing
Yep.
a few cars in the lane as we speak that are further down the order. Connor with a good gap behind, but not enough to give him a free pit stop, but he is going to come to the lane and take some fresh tyres.
Very good. Alright, so we halfway there. Hopefully it kicks back into us nicely. Sorry about the drama there, folks. It was very unfortunate.
James Anderson has stayed out, but Darren Lobb has come to the lane. Dion de Graaf has also stayed out, so James is going to lead from Dion at this point. Bruce Tannock has stayed out, so he's going to jump up to third ahead of Connor and Darren. Timothy Vaughan just coming up towards the pit entrance now. He stays out. It'll be interesting to see if he jumps Connor here. Connor is back out on track ahead of Timothy. And Darren will drop behind Timothy and Eamon. And the merge between Darren and Blake is going to be very interesting. Blake has just got him, so Darren drops to P8. Connor drops to P4, but both of those guys with much fresher tyres than the guys around them, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out to the finish.
So just give us a quick rundown. We've got the MRX safety car, and who's sitting in behind that one at the moment?
So James Anderson is the race leader, Dion de Graaf is second, Bruce Tannock third, and then we've got Connor Nixon, the first of those guys that took the pit stop under yellow. Timothy Vaughan will line up in fifth behind the safety car with Eamon Young sixth, Darren Lobb seventh, Blake Greenhill seventh, sorry. And then Darren Lobb sitting in eighth. He also took fresh rubber there. And Roger Forbett is ninth, and Cole Taylor will line up 10th place on the restart, rounding out that top 10.
Well, there we go. Obviously, looks like we've got some action here again. So I suppose the only thing, just to make sure everyone at home is aware, we have MRX safety car. There it is. And yeah, it's
Pit exit closed. Pit exit closed.
doing its thing. So a bit of gap there back from Roger Forbett as everyone else manages to gather themselves back up.
I'm very intrigued by the fact that you and I have seen different liveries on the James Anderson car there.
Ah, okay, yep, so James Anderson for me is showing a Simplex car, and you're seeing something a little bit different, I'm assuming, but for the stream he's under Simplex, and that was who the team that I thought he was associated with. So no, I called that one.
Yeah, it might just be to do with maybe the timing of when we loaded in. Maybe you hadn't quite changed it over when I loaded in, but you loaded it a bit later.
Pit exit
Yeah.
open.
Oh look, you're refreshing everyone on screen. Definitely Simplex, look at that.
Yeah, so I wonder if I hit
Ah.
Control R, that might change for me.
Maybe. So let's have a quick look. So we got the top 10. So behind Cole Taylor's Tony Lynch, then Scott Pickering and Scott McKenzie. Craig Mason just sitting out of order there a little bit, down in 19th spot. And there's P14 there, so
I'll be interested to see if they're going to wave around some lap cars here.
Speed to 100.
They're not, because it sounds like we're going to go green this lap. Maybe safety car has increased speed to 100. Well, that might mean we're going to go green next lap. So he's increasing that speed, and that means we're going to be starting the restart procedure on the next lap, I believe.
is it possible for a GT4 to go faster than 100 kilometers an hour? Like, does he actually have a chance of getting clear of the field before the restart?
I don't know, we'll soon find out, won't we?
Do you reckon he'll do something funny like, I don't know, like park it in a really interesting way, like he did a couple of weeks ago, through a 360 and parked it next to the barrier?
Yeah, well, we've seen that. We've seen him attempt to jump at Bathurst and not quite pull it off, so I do wonder what he's got in store for us this lap. Maybe he's missed the opportunity to do it this lap, and maybe he could take
Going
the shortcut
green
back to
lap.
the pits through the drag strip.
In the slap.
Yeah.
Car 17.
So there's Nick
to
Mitchell.
maintain 80 to 90
Is on
kilometers.
board with him.
Safety car will accelerate
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
field on the
it's
exit
ringing
of
it. It's
turn 9.
ringing out. It's been rung out.
Pit lane, car 70 has the field.
And in the mirror, you can still just make out the Simplex entry car of James Anderson. Yep, he's flat stick going for it there, folks. This is about as fast as these GT4s circulate. Mighty fine looking car there, isn't it?
Does look
Yep.
very nice.
Oh, he's actually making a bit of a gap. Do you reckon everyone else is slowed to 30?
They must have. Actually, I can tell you James Anderson is doing 87, 86 kilometres.
And doing a mighty fine job of holding everyone up behind him. Do you think that his mirrors will be
Safety car
bulging
in
at
the
the
lane.
moment?
They will, so we've got the couple safety car in pit lane, so that means James Anderson has control. And he's going to go off the apex of the final corner and try to make a gap on Dion. Looks like he's created enough of a gap to give himself some breathing space. Car to watch is probably 4th place Connor Nixon at the moment. Fresh tyres, he's led most of this race. He'll be looking to get a move on once he gets those tyres up to temperature. Darren Lobb getting involved in an incident there and apologising to whoever was also involved in that, as there's a bit of a 3 wide moment there and they managed to get through that cleanly.
Yeah, I reckon Cole Taylor's knuckles must be sweating. He has had his hands full all race.
So Bruce and Connor going at it a little bit here. Connor trying to find his way past Bruce. Oh, that looked very close to contact, but he managed to just avoid his rear bumper, I think, and he's trying to set up the run through here. Can he have a look down the inside at turn 10?
Car 28, turn 1.
Blake Greenhill calling an incident into race control for turn 1 on the restart
Blake
there.
looking at it.
Connor still not able to get that move done on Bruce Tannock. He'll be wanting to put those fresh tyres to good use. He's got Timothy Vaughan behind him putting pressure on if he can't get the move done.
I think Tim took freshies as well, didn't he?
No, I think Tim stayed out. Yeah, Tim stayed out.
Ooh, Bruce just getting a wee bit of a wobble coming through turn 2 there and coming up over the crest. It's already seen him have a big moment earlier with Darren Long at MRP, who's currently sitting back here in 8th spot, sorry, 9th spot.
Yeah.
And
Great.
I think Ross Watson's calling himself into race control there by the sound of it.
okay, yep.
Yeah, they're at 5-8, race control.
Andrew Johnson just calling one in there as well, and looks like Ross Watson there redressing possibly a position to him. Can see Ross Watson went off track with Andrew Johnson crash, so we'll have a quick look at that. There's actually Daniel and Andrew, 2 NZ cars there.
That's unfortunate.
For car 37 in the race, 5 time penalty for contact, avoidable. Thank you.
So
And,
Darren Lobb has been given a 5-second post-race penalty.
Yep, there, so avoidable contact. Yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate one there with Ross just getting a bit of pressure there from Andrew's son Daniel from behind in the red NZ Commodore entry. So car 37, Darren Lobb, now be wanting to try and put the hammer down even more now that he's got a post-race time penalty to look after. But happening here at the front, Connor Nixon, Bruce Tannock and Timothy Vaughan still battling it out. James Anderson leading it over Dion de Graaf. Looking really good for Dion with taking out the All Ports Endurance Cup at this stage, but we still have another, what's that, 27 minutes of racing to go.
17, I think.
Ooh.
So Connor will probably be getting a little bit frustrated with still not being able to find a way past Bruce there, but it's important that he doesn't get too worked up about that, doesn't get impatient and try and force the issue and push too hard and take too much out of his tyres, because as we just pointed out, we do still have 17 minutes remaining. That's a long way to go, plenty of time for Bruce to use his tyres up, and what Connor doesn't want to do is use up that advantage, but he does want to find a way past before those two Simlex cars can run away with it.
Yeah, and Connor looking and Bruce covering, so Connor's certainly going to have to be very, very smart about where he chooses to make it happen,
Car
because
75, black flag, avoidable contact.
Timothy
yes,
Vaughan
Thank
in
you.
car 74 entry is sitting right in behind, ready and waiting for that to happen. Connor here looking to line himself up with a bit of a drag, but Bruce getting a really good run out of that corner. Connor coming down, showing the nose, and Bruce not having any of it. And there we said, Connor's got to be smart, because Timothy will take no prisoners. He will make a jump if he sees one available. Up here at the front though, James Anderson still leading it over Dion de Graaf, but that time margin has closed down a little bit to just under half a second now. Connor having to go on the defensive line on Timothy Vaughan there, and he's now going to have to really show his muss, why he's a Scots driver, and put the pedal to the metal and put some distance between himself and Timothy there again, and close up that gap onto the back of Bruce.
Yes, I wonder if Connor has just damaged those tyres a little bit, working them a bit too hard in the hot air off Bruce's car, and now we've seen him drop back into the clutches of Timothy Vaughan a little bit there and coming under a bit of pressure now, so he'll be looking to see if he can get those tyres cooled off and maybe get back on the attack to Bruce in front.
Certainly is. So his best plan now would be to deploy some similar driving standards that Bruce was doing, just aiming and hitting those apexes and getting the car through them.
That's right, eyes forward, don't look at the mirrors too much. Obviously, you got to recognise if the car's up the inside and give them room, but other than that, just hit your marks, drive your lines, and see if you can close the gap back down to Bruce in front of you.
So, there's certainly nothing between these guys at the moment as we look off the top of the 168. Connor Nixon, racecraft entry car here at the back of Bruce Tannock. That time gap from him to Bruce is nearly identical to the one between him behind to Tim. And still
Look how on the limit he
yeah.
was under brakes, sliding around and just got a little bit deep.
Yep. So he's certainly got the pace, just being held up as we now see our lead cars just in the distance coming across lap traffic of Ross Watson as he does his best to get clear and out of the way.
Now this could play a part. If Bruce doesn't quite get the best run around Ross Watson, Connor might be able to set up an opportunity, and Bruce has had to take the narrow line into the second last corner there. Connor probably got a better run through there, but I think Bruce has been able to get away without too much damage. And Timothy was able to slip through there nice and cleanly as well. So Ross doing a good job to not affect the battle any more than he needed to. But certainly Connor all over Bruce again. He's going to look to show the nose into turn 3, but can't get it down there. Bruce is very good under brakes, so making a move on Bruce in the braking zone is a very tricky thing to do. He needs to set the pass up on the exit of a corner and try and get alongside before the braking zone if he's going to get past, I think.
Yeah, Bruce certainly doing his best at defending that line to the max. Defending hard, but certainly not bleeding any time away from the lead pack as well.
Oh, there's contact! And Timothy Vaughan takes the opportunity to slip through there. Bruce has called that into race control, and I can't say I'm surprised. I think we're probably going to see a penalty for Connor there. That's my view on it.
I think he's put his hand up to say...
Hey, I could be abusing around here. All your stuff, right? Otherwise you'll get hit.
Go. So that happened.
It did.
That happened. So.
And now look who's right with Connor. The other guy who took tyres probably hasn't been in the thick of it so much hurting those tyres. So Darren could be a good chance to get ahead of Connor here now.
Yeah, so at the moment, Darren sitting in 5th. 5-second time penalty will take him back 2 spots currently, so Darren definitely wanting to push his way towards the front, and with just a little bit under 10 minutes of racing to go, he himself doesn't want to be held up too much. Yeah, I'm interested to see what comes of race control's decision around that incident there with 168 and car 31. Certainly no doubt that 168 was did have contact, or just whether or not car 31 was considered to be doing any blocking through those sections of corner and not holding the racing line. So it's going to certainly be a hard one to judge and call on. It's one of those guys get paid the big imaginary dollars to make that decision.
Yeah, my view is that I would call it as a penalty to Connor, just based on what I've seen. And I was about to say I'm not race control, but race control have agreed with me. Connor has been given a drive-through penalty.
Wow.
And not too happy about it, but I think when he goes back and looks at it, he'll probably see where they're coming from with that.
I didn't even see one there. It's right.
So that leaves us with James Anderson still out front from Dion DeGraff. Timothy Vaughan 4 seconds back from him. So
Don't worry, bro. Your teammate fucked me too.
Ow, I just don't know how that's possible. He's blocking that hard, and there's the door open.
bit of discussion coming
Yeah.
over radio about that.
You hit me behind the rear wheel.
About 10 minutes to go. James Anderson leading. 1.5 seconds ahead of Dion DeGraff. Timothy Vaughan is 4 seconds off the lead.
Kumbaya.
Yep. Doing a good job of trying to talk over top of it, so I'll take my turn now. Yep, Timothy Vaughan 4 seconds away from the lead, and we've got Darren Lobb shaking all over the back of Connor now, flashing his light, saying, "Get on, move on, son. Get out of the way." 5-second time penalty to try and clear. Be up there to do it. I've come back from having a nice wee break, and I want to be back there on that podium step where I've been a lot of times before. So if you're new to us and you're not too familiar with the name of Darren Lobb, he's certainly one to watch, and he's certainly one that's won a lot of these races here in the past. Talking before about Lasith's son, Rehan, Phoenix Racing Team, and as much as Rehan has had some great battles with one and only Shane Van Gisbergen, he certainly had a lot of good races alongside this fella here, Darren Lobb. One very quick South African that we have here living in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's right. I can remember one particular battle at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park where Darren ran out of fuel coming around the final corner.
Yep, I remember that too, and there would have been a whisker of space between those two cars as Darren still tried to cover him off to come up to the finish line, and I'm pretty sure young Rehan had to squeeze himself along pit lane wall to claim victory. It was certainly a hell of a race.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. I was sitting alongside Wayne in the broadcasting lounge for that one, and one of my first races in the broadcasting lounge, and I think I just called it as Darren's race, and then I learned not to call it until it's over.
Yeah, and Darren has won. Oh my gosh, he has not won it. Yeah, we've all been there, mate. And look at just how quickly he has moved up onto the back of third spot there. So Darren now on the back of Timothy Vaughan, and they are already they're over 5 seconds clear of the spot behind them. So even if Darren was to finish the race here in this position, he's not going to drop any spots with that earlier penalty.
Yeah, he'll be pretty keen to find a way past Timothy and then see if he can put a gap on him a 5-second gap to maintain the podium position, but to do that he's going to have to find a way past Dion de Graaf as well, because Dion's only about 3 seconds up the road from Tim at the moment, or 2 seconds even.
That's it. And yeah, James Anderson coming along to race with us tonight. It's certainly a pleasure. He's certainly a fast racer when he gets in behind the wheel of these things, and you can certainly see why he's sporting the Sim Black colours. But not giving anything up for his teammate there, Dion, in second.
Yeah, well, Dion's sitting in a place which will wrap up the Enduro Cup for him, so no need for team orders in that respect, but if Dion does stay here, it's going to mean he will wrap up that title without winning a race in the series. So I wonder if he'll be going, hey, come on James, let me win it in style.
Well, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Maybe that's the overall team order from Stefan. It says, I do not want to see any, any race fixing, I suppose as you'd call it. If you're in front and you're leading and you're doing it, you do it.
And look at the colour of the car that's behind Dion now. Darren Lobb has found his way around Timothy Vaughan.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at that, shall we?
So into turn 1, sitting in behind, using the curb to help rotate the car, and that's given him the run off the corner, down the inside into 3. And Timothy just giving that up and recognising that he's lost the spot and just letting him go. That was smart driving by Tim to not lose any more time there than he needed to.
Yeah, cheers Shane, that was well said. Yeah, Darren capitalising off a small error. You see Tim's car now just shaking there in the background. So Darren.
Oh, no, Price just tangled with our race leader.
Oh, and then
teammates have collided. Dion's going to wait for him. Darren's in amongst this now.
Oh man, there we go. So team orders and no team orders. Darren saying, mate, I don't care if that's your teammate in front. Either get a boogie on or get out of the way, because I am here.
So that really just spiced up this race. That's put Darren all over the back of Dion. I wonder if Dion can get past these two Simblacks cars and put a 5-second gap on them to take the win now.
It would be very, very crafty to see with nearly 4 minutes of racing to go, but Darren's fast. He's very, very fast.
And he got that fresh rubber under the safety car as well, so he's going to have a tyre advantage over these guys.
Certainly been pushing a lot to get back to where he is.
Does he get it done down here at 3? He has a look. Dion just gives him just enough room. And he's going to have the inside. Oh no! What has happened there? Well, this race just keeps giving, doesn't it?
I'm actually blown away. Wow, I'm speechless.
Yeah. So Darren drops back to P5 now. Not hearing anything called into race control yet, but I would not be surprised to hear that called in. Dion just trying to defend from Timothy Vaughan now. James has pulled out a 1.3 second gap again after all that.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
Scott Pickering for the win. I
don't think we can rule anything out, can we?
Still speechless, mate. Absolutely. It's like you were saying before. You know, you try to. You think that you're on it. You've got it. You're picking it. Who's going to win?
45.
And then.
Craig Mason, Australia, car 22, blocking a lap down on purpose. Shut the fuck up, clown.
Okay. And just when we thought there was no more giving left to be gived, no, there's giving still. Not a lot of taking.
Yes. So I think Timothy Vaughan's hungry to try and pick up a race win here, and
yeah.
I think Dion's job at the moment might be protect James.
We're looking to it, thank you.
It's certainly the hottest battle on field. We have a quick look back here. We've got Stuart Crawford sitting on the back of Tony Lynch, and one Cole Taylor with the Aero package stage one lightning kit there. Tony Lynch and Stuart Crawford just coming together.
I was just about to comment that one side of that KFC car is still looking good.
Yep. So let's have a quick look to see how that unfolded. Make the move down the inside. Door closed, maybe. It's a bit of a hard angle to pick, isn't it? You've got to be a bit more aerial on that one.
Yeah, that might be a little bit 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
But at the moment, this is probably where we need to be and where we need to watch, as we are now down, probably about to show white flag for our race leader coming around this lap, I'd say, if they haven't got it already.
I think they will have already taken the white flag because we have gone over that 1 hour and 5 minute mark. So I think when James Anderson comes around this time, it's going to be to take the checkered flag. But who's going to be in second behind them? Because this is getting really close now. Tim had to go around the outside. I think that might have just cost him. He's a bit far back to make the move now unless Dion's going to make a mistake. Looks like Dion keeping it nice and clean there. James Anderson is going to come across the line. Oh, he's giving it up to Dion, is he? Oh, it's a photo finish. He hasn't given it up, but he's backed it off for the photo finish, and that was risky, but they pulled it off.
That was certainly a photo finish, and the boys just congratulating themselves over that. So well done to James Anderson, P1 for our 11th race in the Supercars NZ Allports Gaming Summer Series, and also our round 3 and final for the Allports Endurance Cup. So I suppose officially, unofficially, this man here on screen will have taken out that podium at the top. So
yeah, as long as we don't see any points penalties coming the way of Dion, which don't rule anything out. So watch this space until Doug puts up the official points, official final points for this. And yeah, unofficially, certainly Dion's done enough to hold on to that top spot.
That was certainly some cool racing.
Can you pull me up to the box?
And also to also just to take.
We'll move forward a bit so everyone can get on.
So
just drag races going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure if I've missed any.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You fucking
Oh, but Price has got the better second stage, and he's got out in front. Cole's in his second run here.
watch out, Pete.
Oh, Pete!
And the wall is the finish line, and Price has taken it. Pete has been caught up.
Oh, that's gold.
Beat you up into the clouds, mate.
Price has ended up on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, golden, absolutely golden, and that's pretty much what Supercars NZ is all about. Capital F-U-N, and that is just the word fun. That wasn't trying to spell out anything else.
I think Dion might have been aware of what the points situation was coming into this race, because he's certainly looking like he's got a lot to celebrate.
Certainly has.
Just hope for his sake that he doesn't end up going too far in the wrong direction on track and picking up a DQ there.
Yes. And just quickly answering a question for the boys at Vermilion Motorsports. Do the drivers need to take tyres? Yes, so they can do cool shit like this at the end. But yes, they do. There is a compulsory pit stop for the V8 races. And it might be something that be getting featured in the new GT3 series as well. More information coming up about the GT3 series of next season very shortly. Shane will have a post update about that for anyone interested in that, probably within the next week, I'd say.
He sure will. Could even be in the next couple of days.
Oh, very good. Very cool. Well, there's not much more left to say, but a massive thank you to iRacing.com for providing us the service to display awesome racing today and leaving us with a perfection of donuts scattered down the track edge like that you can see on screen from Dion DeGraff. Certainly an awesome platform to be on, and if you're new to sim racing or wanting to get into it, get in touch with us. We can help point you in the right direction of what you may need to know, help you get set up. And for any of you fast guys out there wanting to get faster, get in touch with the guys over at Passion Sim Racing, our weekly sponsor. They will get you lined up with the boys over at the Phoenix Racing team for some more one-on-one coaching and try and help milk out a few extra precious hundredths of a second per race. All Ports Gaming, it's been a awesome few seasons with you guys, and we're so grateful to have you again with us next season under the banner of Sparko Gaming Products, which can be bought through All Ports Motorsport and Gaming. And thank you to you, Shane, for living it here upstairs in the broadcasting lounge with me. Wouldn't be here without you either.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. And of course, thanks to iRacing for giving us the platform to go racing on.
Awesome stuff, and we will catch you all on Thursday night as the GT3s head off to Charlotte Motorsport Park. Yes, that is an oval circuit, but we're going to add in a few extra right-hand turns by using the Roval circuit. Drivers, be prepared for a few dark laps. That's all I'll say on that. Thank you, and good night.